Hey there guys, Portal Master here, and today I am back with another update on the Twitter leaks that we have been seeing. There has once again been another small piece of information that has come out about the Skylanders 2021 leaks that I do want to talk about. We're going to talk about two separate leaks that one of them is the Twitter leaker you're familiar with. The other one is a leak that you're probably not familiar with that came out a few months ago, I think 4 months ago. We're going to be talking about that, and we're going to be comparing the two of them and talking about the validity of them. So, without further ado, let's jump right in. Before I go and show you the new piece of information, I did just want to say that yesterday evening, this is recorded a little bit later than it should be. Yesterday evening, the leaker put out a tweet that said, the Pokemon announcement tomorrow will be about the game from Tencent, which doesn't matter if you know at all what I'm talking about. Today, a new Pokemon game was revealed at that event, and it was by Tencent. And a lot of people didn't think that that's what it would be. Most people thought it was going to be either a Sinnoh remake or some type of a Let's Go Johto announcement. That obviously could have been predicted pretty easily. However, the user said, I received a ton of DMs talking that it was, the Tencent game, and so that's what I'm predicting it will be tomorrow. Sure enough, you wake up this morning, I wake up this morning and say the leaker was, and see a text from someone that says the leaker was right, it was from Tencent. So that does add a little bit to their credibility. Again, it doesn't mean that they're telling the truth, and it doesn't mean we can treat this leak like it's real, but it does add a little bit to their credibility. So let's talk about what this tweet was that was put out that adds a little bit more information for, of course, the Skylanders side of things. As you can see, this is a tweet thread that occurred underneath one of the previous tweets where someone was talking about, don't give me hope, don't get me hyped up for a game to not be real, and the leaker said, are you a big Skylanders fan? And the person replied, very much so, haha, grew up loving the games and collecting the figures pretty religiously. Then they replied, well, when I get new info, I will post it here, so stay tuned. All I know is that they're working on a new version that will be profitable for the company, and it's unique compared to old versions. There are a lot of different ways to interpret this comment, and we're going to basically look at all the different ways to interpret it. So the immediate thing that people were thinking when people showed me this tweet, I didn't know about it. It was shown to me again. Thank you to all the people that are sending me this information. The people were saying, okay, does this mean an all-digital Skylanders game with no actual physical figures, but rather figures sold, or characters rather, sold as DLC instead of as collectible figures? Yes, that's a possibility. I don't think that's entirely what it is, for a couple of reasons we'll get into in a minute. It could also mean the Starlink model, where characters are both sold as instant Skylanders, which were actually tried out in the Trap Team mobile version, which was available on iPads, and I actually don't think that was a horrible idea, but of course you could also buy the physical figures still in stores. That is another thing that could be done. That is exactly what Starlink did. The problem with Starlink, though, was that the figures were so much more expensive than the digital versions that they completely priced out the physical figures, and the game, as a Toys to Life game, flopped, although the game itself wasn't bad. That's another option as well, but it would have to be implemented differently so it didn't follow down the Starlink pathway. Additionally, it could mean a Skylanders game that utilizes the Skylanders characters, but in a different way than before. Of course, a mobile game would qualify as that, but I don't think that's what... to me, it reads as if this is still a Toys for Bob project, is how these tweets read to me. It could be that it's a mobile game. It could be that it's something like that. But if it isn't following the original model of Skylanders, where it's a top-down dungeon crawler, then it could be, okay, a Skylanders platformer, or a Skylanders, multiplayer battle thing. There are a variety of spin-offs of the original franchise that it could be, maybe, and still utilize the original Skylanders thing. There's really no way of telling how to interpret this tweet. It could also mean that, it's a brand new game that actually still uses Toys to Life, but the game is just so very, very different. There's so many ways to interpret this, but the way I don't interpret it is a remaster of the original game. To me, this actually debunks the remaster. If this tweet is legit, then what we're referring to is not a Skylanders Spyro's Adventure remaster, which that actually does another thing, I think that if it's not a remaster, it does not mean it is confined to a 2021 release. If we're looking at a Skylanders Spyro's Adventure remaster, we're looking at 2021. If we're not looking at a Spyro's Adventure remaster, that date is out the window. We could be looking many years down the line. I don't know. We could be looking at Skylanders 2022, honestly. Although, if you told me today that a Skylanders game was in development and it wasn't coming out for another 2.5 years, I would still be way more excited than I was 2 weeks ago when I didn't know the suite existed at all. So, take it how you will. I wanted to talk about something else today, though, in addition to just these Twitter leaks and just what could become of these things. There was a post made on Dark Spyro by one of the moderators that was talking about the leaks, and they basically said, okay, so there's rumors going around about these leaks. Unless development has just started on this game, it doesn't really line up with what I've heard. So this could potentially imply that whatever Skylanders game there is in the early stages of development. Again, if this tweet is a legit leak. We're not going to talk about that comment anymore. What we really are going to talk about is the fact that I made a post on the Dark Spyro forums in response to that, and basically was just talking on the forums when a user was saying something about an Activision master plan or list or something along those lines, and I asked them for more clarification. They linked me to a Reddit leak that was posted about 4 months ago that I don't exactly know where it comes from. It said something about Pastebin, but obviously Pastebin in and of itself is not exactly a source, so unclear where this leak comes from, but apparently some people are taking it seriously, or at least were 4 months ago. Let's dive into what this thing talks about. This Pastebin leak is absolutely massive. I'm not going to try to include pictures from it in this particular video. I will include a link to it down in the description below. It says a lot of different things. So it says things like one of the future Smash DLC characters is going to be a Capcom character. There's going to be like a new Monster Hunter game at some point that it's going to be exclusive to the Switch. I'll come back to the Activision thing because that's obviously the main attraction of this leak. We'll talk about that last. It says Mario & Rabbids 2 is basically coming at some point. It talks a little bit about some type of new Rayman game. It mentions something about Assassin's Creed, and it says the next Assassin's Creed is Viking themed and brings back the boat features from Black Flag. Obviously we know that is now real. It is Assassin's Creed Valhalla. We know that's a thing. GTA 6 is in production for next-gen systems. Talks about the new Xbox, some type of Cuphead DLC, something about a remake for Banjo-Kazooie. Talks about the pricing for the Series X. Talks about that Halo 1, 2, 3, Reach, and Rare Replay is all coming to the Switch. For Sony, it says Spider-Man 2 is PS5 exclusive, will be announced at E3 2020. That is essentially true. We now know that Spider-Man Miles Morales is coming to PS5. I can't remember if it's console. I'm pretty sure it's exclusive to PS5, and it's not going to be re-released on PS4. I don't know that for 100%. It talks about the pricing for PS5. It talks a little bit about PSVR. It says Horizon Zero Dawn 2 will be a launch title for PS5. That is incorrect. That is false. It talks a little bit about Nintendo. It says no information on Switch, on Smash, other than the fact that there's going to be some kind of Capcom source or Capcom character coming. It says that Pokemon Diamond and Pearl remakes are the next year's Pokemon games and will have the ability to transfer every Pokemon to that game after the backlash of Sword and Shield. It also says something about Tamagotchi Life, but nothing really there. It says a Fallout 4 port for the Switch. It says Starfield is planned to get a full reveal at E3 and is set to launch at 2022. That would have basically, E3 would have been this time period. I don't know when Bethesda's doing their thing. I think they may have something soon, so that could be a potential important thing. Talks a little bit about some of Bethesda's other properties. A lot of these are not yet fact-checkable. Some of them are right. Of course, we have Assassin's Creed Valhalla coming. We have a few other things like the Spider-Man 2, which is Spider-Man Miles Morales. It's coming to PS5. However, some things are wrong. Like it also says that Horizon Zero Dawn 2, which we now know is Forbidden West, will be a PS5 exclusive at launch, or a PS5 launch title, I mean. That's what I'm trying to say. it's not. It doesn't come out until 2021, and probably not even until late 2021, as it's been evidenced now. Now, this was 4 months ago, and Horizon is like a huge title. It seems like if that was going to be a launch title, they really would have stuck with that, because right now their only big launch title reveal so far is Spider-Man. So, you know, lots of different things going on with this potential leak. But I put my phone away without getting to the Activision part, didn't I? Let me open this back up. That's important. Scroll back to the Activision part. I can't believe that slipped my mind. Let's read the entire Activision Blizzard section. The mobile department at Blizzard is amping up production tenfold. Expect a lot more Blizzard mobile games, including a Warcraft mobile game in the style of Pokemon Go, and an Overwatch mobile game being tracked after the success of the Call of Duty mobile game. A StarCraft first-person shooter is being considered for a revival since Destiny is no longer being made, and Activision needs a new sci-fi shooter. A new Crash game is being made, takes heavy inspiration from the classic games, and the title is even considered to be called Crash Bandicoot 4. Black Ops 5 is full steam ahead. A Pro Skater remake of both 1 and 2 is real and should have a 2021 launch, and Skylanders is getting revived, but the figures are not coming back. Instead, they're being replaced with a gacha system, and it's going to be a free-to-start mobile title. As I said, the leak is clearly mixed in reliability as of right now. We can further fact check this as the year goes on and see how real we think it is. Now, I have a video coming up soon talking about what's going on with Ring of Heroes and how they basically stopped updating Ring of Heroes as it stands and are planning on relaunching it towards the end of this year as Skylanders Ring of Heroes 2.0. I will have a video out about that. I actually recorded it before making this video. So stay tuned for that in the near future when there's a lull in news and updates. So sometime soon. So Ring of Heroes 2 is a thing, more or less. Could this Twitter leak be referring to Ring of Heroes 2? It absolutely could be. It absolutely could be. And I hate to try to make this probably be the worst sounding update video I've made on these leaks so far, but when you think about the tweet that came out talking about how the new game is going to be unique and profitable compared to the older games, that we have to admit does sound like it's at least a small possibility of being what that's referring to. It isn't necessarily. I personally think that the person who leaked it to the Twitter user under the guise of it being a Toys for Bob project and not just a Skylanders title, but honestly, we don't really know. It's things we have to consider, and I'm going to be keeping an eye on this leak now and fact-checking it as time goes on and seeing what proves real and what proves not real to see how reliable this leak overall ends up being. It's hard to say. We will just have to wait and see. So that's basically all I have for you guys today in this video. Stay tuned for more because I am going to be keeping, as I keep saying, a very, very close eye on everything that's going on with this entire news cycle. Thanks so much for watching. This has been Portal Master. Remember to like, comment, subscribe. Go drop me a follow on both Twitter and Instagram. Link is down in the description, as is a link to this leak that I just discussed in this video. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you guys next time.